What is good, y'all? Welcome back to the Upper. Welcome back to a brand new video. We are here. We are back. And listen, man, we got some Heat news for you guys. Number one, Davion Mitchell has just re-signed with the Miami Heat. Number two, we're going to be talking about the draft class of the Miami Heat. I know we only had one pick, but we brought in a few players. We're going to talk about the Summer League roster a little bit and kind of what to expect from this team during the Summer League. And yeah, just all that stuff. So make sure y'all drop a like, subscribe, and comment down below. Let's get right into it. So Davion Mitchell, man. I mean, I feel like this is pretty, like, I don't want to say obvious, but I feel like we all kind of knew he was going to come back. Like, he just really fit the team really well last year when he was traded to us by Toronto. Thank you, Toronto, by the way, because that was a crazy trade. But Davion was a guy who averaged 10 points and 5 assists in his time here since he was traded here, and he shot 40% from three, and he was elite defensively. Like, he was just, I think, one of the bright spots of last year was Davion Mitchell, acquiring him, and I think this solidifies him as one of the two, like, rotation point guards of the Miami Heat. I think the point guard position we're pretty set on. We have Kasparis and we have Davion now, and I like it because you have Kasparis who can provide you a little bit more offense, and then you have Davion for more of the defensive side, and I even think that both of these guys can play together at times as well, because Kasparis is 6'6", so you're not going to be playing two small guards. I really like the fact that we brought Davion back. I think he was for sure someone that I really wanted to see back on this team. I mean, we saw him wear his jersey outside. There was like a whole thing going around on social media that he was wearing his jersey to get food. Like, he's just a Heat lifer, and that's what people joke about. But listen, this guy is really, he's embraced the fit, he's embraced the culture, he's embraced the team. I really enjoy watching him play for our team, and like I said, he was one of the few bright spots that were on our team last year. So great contract as well. Usually the Heat don't really give out the best contracts at times, but this contract that they gave out to Davion, I thought was a really good contract. 2 years, $24 million in this market is a really good deal, especially when guys are getting paid a lot of money. Like, the market is just becoming like crazier and crazier by the day and by the year. So the contracts that people give out are going to be a lot higher as the years go by. So the fact that we got him for $12 million a year, I thought was a good, like, really good value contract. I thought it was a very fair deal. Yeah, like, I'm super happy with the contract that we gave out as well. And there's not really much more to say. I mean, this guy was a great fit for us, and I cannot wait to see him play minutes for us. And I hope that he's able to improve his game even more than he has, because I feel like shooting 40% from three last year, I thought that was really big. He actually was one of the big reasons why we even made it to the playoffs. I know we got swept in the first round, and it wasn't the greatest playoff performance from a lot of our guys, but specifically from him, I think that in that Atlanta game, he had a few big threes, and he was like an absolute dog for us. Defensively, he was setting the tone. He was like hyping up the team. He was providing energy. Like, Spo loves him. I think the fans love him. I think he's one of the few players that we can all unanimously say we all liked seeing on the team last year. So big shout out to Davion to get his money. Big shout out to the Heat on this one for bringing him back and keeping him where he belongs. And 2 years, I think, is good. Obviously, we'll see in 2 years how he performs and all that. But I think for now, you kind of have yourself a good point guard rotation. Now, who starts and who comes off the bench is up to Spo, but I think Kasparis should get the starting spot. But he might start Davion. It's a very, Spoelstra thing to do, to start the experienced player and then bring the rookie off the bench. So he might do that. I would be probably a little bit shocked if I saw Kasparis start, but I think he should. But listen, I wouldn't mind if either of them started at the beginning of the year. I just want to see both of them playing minutes, and I want to see how we work out those lineups. But yeah, I think regardless of who starts and who ends the games and all that, I think at the point guard position, I think for the first time in a while, I think we're good. I think we have what we need. Maybe we probably need another point guard just for insurance if one of them goes down, but I think they're banking on Drew Smith, who played pretty well last year before he got hurt, unfortunately, to make a return as well. So yeah, I think the point guard position, I think, is finally in an okay spot in Miami. Now, none of these guys are elite players yet, but Kasparis is a rookie, and Davion is a guy that showed a lot of growth as a younger player as well. I mean, he's like 24 or 25, I think, already, but he still has a lot of room to grow. So I think we're good on that end. And shout out to the Heat for bringing Davion back. And yeah, not much more to say. Let's move on to the next topic, which is the draft. The Miami Heat's draft, I guess, weekend. Or not weekend, it was during the week, no. But yeah, let's move on to the draft pick that they had, Kasparas Giacochonis, as well as some of the guys that they brought in as well. Now, Kasparas I talked about. If you guys want to see like a full like video on Kasparas, you guys can check that out. That was like, I think, my most recent video besides this one, or like my last video. I talked about Kasparas at length. I know a lot about Kasparas. Like I've watched Kasparas for like a while now. I've attended games where he's been playing at Illinois. Like, he is an absolute stud. You know, he's great. And the fact that he fell to 20 is kind of crazy. But listen, I mean, I'm not complaining. I don't think any of you guys are complaining. I think this guy was a great pickup. Now, there'll be fans. There's a lot of fans who will be unhappy no matter what we do. And people will be like, oh, the Kasparas, blah, blah, he can't defend. He turns the ball over. Listen, does he turn the ball over? He has. In college basketball, he was pretty bad with turning the ball over. But he also dealt with a really bad injury. He was kind of rushed back by the Illinois staff. Illinois, we didn't in Illinois when because obviously I'm a fan of Illinois as well, so we didn't really have a lot of like offense besides him and Will Riley on our team at Illinois, and it's really tough, you know, for Kasparas coming off of that major injury. He had to kind of just be thrust back, and at the beginning of the year when he was at Illinois, like, he was so good. People were like, oh, this guy's like the next coming of whatever. Like, they were like anointing him as like the next superstar, and like I think like they just put so much pressure on the kid that when he got hurt and came back, people expected him to play the same, but it obviously was an adjustment for him, and that's why his numbers and all that went down a little bit. But I saw a lot of good stuff in the tournament, like especially against Xavier. I thought he had a really good game there. Against Kentucky, it was a little tough, but I have no doubt Kasparas will be a good player in the NBA. Like, will he ever reach superstardom? I don't know, but I think there's no chance. Like, I think there's like maybe like a 2%, if you want to give any chance, that this player does not end up being a good player. But I honestly, in my mind, fully, without any bias, believe that this guy will turn out to be a good player. I just think his IQ is too high. I think his like feel for the game is too good. I think his playmaking, his shooting, his ball handling, like, I think the only two things he has to work on is to get stronger and get in the weight room a little bit and like be able to handle contact a little bit better. And then also just not turn the ball over. But defensively, I think he competes. I think Kasparas competes defensively. Like, yeah, at Illinois, he was competing a lot defensively. Like, yeah, sometimes because of his like frame, he might get like overmatched a little bit because he's not like the biggest. He's tall like for a point guard, but he's not like the strongest, you know. So a lot of people will have the physical advantages over him, but he will compete. Like, he will really compete. I think that's why like Miami shouldn't really be too worried defensively, because I think they value effort more than anything, and he will show effort at least. Like, he's not just gonna slack off defensively. He's a really tough player, man. Kasparas is tough. I'm not gonna lie. Like, when I was watching him at Illinois, like, bro, this guy was like diving on the floor. I'm telling you right now, this guy's a dog. He may not talk much. Like, he's a pretty like, you know, quiet guy, but bro, he's an absolute dog, and I'm telling you, he's going to be a really good player for the Heat. I cannot say enough good things about him, man. I think he's going to be a great pickup, and it's I think like we're so like fortunate that we had him at 20, bro, because nobody predicted this guy to fall to 20, like nobody. So listen, I mean, cannot be happier. But I've talked about Kasparas a lot, so I'm not going to talk about him anymore. But shout out to Kasparas. Cannot wait to see him play. And then the Heat also brought in Vlad Golden on the two-way. Vlad Golden, if you guys are not familiar, I mean, a lot of you guys should be familiar, especially guys who are FAU fans, because Vlad was on that FAU team that made that big run, you know, with John L. Davis, Elijah Martin, who went to UF and won a title, and then Dusty May, who was the coach. And then Dusty May eventually left, went to Michigan, and then Vlad kind of followed him and went to Michigan as well. And Vlad is just a really, really good player. I think he's more of a prototypical big, but he's 7'1". He can block shots. He's mobile. He can, you know, catch lobs. He can set good screens. He can't really shoot the ball that well, but everything else, like in the paint, I think he has good footwork. He was a player that I thought would get drafted in the second round, and he went undrafted, and he was definitely like one of the top guys undrafted that I was really surprised didn't go drafted. I really thought some team who needed a backup big in the second round could just easily take him, but yeah, I mean, we snagged him on a two-way. I thought that was a really good pickup by the Heat. I think especially when you look at the team needs. Obviously, when you start Bam Adebayo and Kel'el Ware, which is kind of like what the team plans to do, you don't really have a backup center planned out yet, and we haven't had a backup center planned out for a while. And I think Kevin Love was like the guy who was supposed to be the backup center last year. Obviously, like, not only is he like past his prime severely, like he's just not like the player that he was. He's more of like a locker room presence to me. I think like on the floor we can't really expect much from him, which is fine. Like we all love Kevin Love, but he also dealt with a lot last season, like off the court, and hopefully he's fine now. But yeah, like I don't think it's realistic to expect like Kevin Love, who's, I don't know how old he is, but he's definitely like above 36 or 37. Like he's definitely like getting up to like 40 years old now. So I don't think it's fair to trust him. And not saying that Vlad is going to come in and be the backup center right away, but at least it gives you some options, because we also signed a bunch of bigs in for our summer league roster, and Steve Settle as well, who's not like a prototypical big. He's more of like a 3-and-D like forward, but Steve Settle out of Temple is like 6'11" as well. Like I think size was a really big priority for the Heat, like with their summer league roster, with their two-way and Exhibit 10 guys. Like they really want to bring in size, and I really like the fact that they prioritize size, because yeah, the backup big spot was really tough for us last year, because when Bam Adebayo went out, we would try to stagger him and Kel'el Ware as much as we could, but there was times where we needed both on the floor, and then they were both, needing breathers and all that, and we couldn't really afford to play a backup big because we didn't really have one. Thomas Bryant, like we brought him in, but unfortunately with him, like he just didn't really play well, like especially defensively. He was absolutely getting ran off the floor defensively, and he went to Indiana and he was playing actually pretty good minutes for them, but just didn't work out here. Before that, I believe we had like Cody Zeller play for us for some time. Yurtseven was playing. Yurtseven wasn't bad, but same issue was like the defense was like really, really terrible for Yurtseven. Offensively, I thought he had something, though. I thought he was, especially on the glass, he was rebounding the ball really well. Yeah, we haven't really had a backup center in like a really like long time. Like that's actually like pretty like like good, that where you can like, okay, Bam is off the floor, we can trust that our rating will not drop without Bam or Kel'el Ware now, because now we have Ware. So listen, I like what they did. They also brought in Dane Danger on the summer league roster. Now people will not really be familiar with Dane Danger because he's not a household name, but I am, because funny story, I actually played against Dane Danger, and that was at Illinois again, because when I was a student there, he was we were playing pickup, I think, one day at the gym, and he was there, but he was an absolute beast when we were playing. He actually like dominated everyone there, but he ended up transferring to Memphis, and at Memphis he was playing with Penny Hardaway, and he lost a lot of weight. He was like really, really like he became like super mobile. At Illinois, like he was like super like big, and he was like, like an absolute bruiser. But after he lost all his weight, like I think he lost like significant weight, and he like became so mobile. He was running the floor really hard. He was playing super hard. Like he struggles to shoot the free throw, and I remember that from his time at Illinois as well. But energy, he will provide. So he's another energy big, and I think that the Heat have gone for that. Like with their summer league roster, with their Exhibit 10 deals, with their two-way guy that they brought in Golden. It's a lot of size that they brought in, and I really like that theme that they're going for size, because like I said, you need options at that backup center spot, and we don't really have that. It's one of our biggest holes on our roster. Now, yeah, Vlad Golden, I think that was probably the one of the best like value two-way guys out there as well. So listen, I like what they did in the draft. I think like for the whole draft process itself, I would give them like a plus. Like I think they did a really good job with their preparation and all that. And obviously, like who knows if Kasparas did not fall to them, who they would have taken. I don't know, but they took the guy that was the best player available on the board by a long shot. And I cannot believe that there was guys that went over him that, to me, like we're not even in the same league as far as the point guard position we're concerned. Like especially like Brooklyn, who took 2 point guards that I did not think had any business being over Kasparas. So great draft for the Heat. And then last but not least, I do want to talk about is the Jonathan Kuminga rumors. I think, there was a report that the Kuminga rumors are a little bit overstated. I forgot if that was from 5 Reasons or if that was from Barry Jackson. It's one of the two said it, but I do want to give credit to whoever. I think it's one of the two for sure said it. But before that, Shams was on the draft coverage saying that Jonathan Kuminga to Miami is a real possibility, and Miami's really trying to go after him. So I don't really know like what their interest level is. Obviously, like the free agency period has not even started yet, so they can't really like talk to him yet because that would be tampering. But if we brought him in, it would definitely be a sign and trade with the Warriors. There's also rumors that Andrew Wiggins is going to go to the Lakers, and that the Lakers are trying to work on a deal to bring in Andrew Wiggins. So these are two things that are like very like interesting. I actually don't mind sending out Andrew Wiggins to the Lakers, but it depends on what we get back, because the Heat want to pick back from the Lakers. But what I would do if I was the Heat is I would try to go get Dalton Connect from the Lakers. Dalton Connect on whatever salary you can get to get Andrew Wiggins off of your books. And then you get Dalton Connect not to play him, but you flip Dalton Connect to Charlotte. And the reason you flip him to Charlotte is because not only does Charlotte really like Dalton Connect, and they've liked him since last year. It was like a very it was like a very huge story. Like Dalton Connect, Charlotte loved him, and Charlotte was planning on taking him as high as 6 last year when they had Tejan Salon drafted at 6. Charlotte loves Dalton Connect. You go and give Dalton Connect to Charlotte, and you bring in and you receive your pick back from them that you traded away when you got Terry Rozier and you traded Kyle Lowry to them. And then you're in control of your first round pick next year as well. I think that's the type of 3D chess the Heat should be doing. They should try to go get their own picks back. They need to be in control of their picks. It's very tough to not be in control of your picks, because this year was a disaster. Like we were like in a dilemma because we didn't know as fans, like, is it better to make the playoffs? Is it better to like keep our pick that goes to OKC if we make the playoffs? I think you want to kind of rid yourself of any of that drama and any of those problems in future seasons. And your pick for 2027 is with Charlotte. So you want your pick back if you're Miami. I think that's a really big priority. And I think if it means you have to get rid of Andrew Wiggins and take on some expiring contracts and getting your pick back as well, I actually don't mind it at all, because it's better to not only you get off of the salary of Wiggins, which is like $30 million, but you also get your pick back. The salaries that you're going to take on from the Lakers are like what, Rui Hachimura or Gabe Vincent, like, which would be funny that he was back on Miami if he was traded. But yeah, like just that type of trade I think is the trade that the Heat should be doing if they're trying to get Wiggins to the Lakers. Don't worry about the Lakers pick. Like, yeah, the Lakers pick might be good, but they also have Luka Doncic. So I don't really see a world where their team is going to be like terrible. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think they should try to get their own pick back in 2027 from Charlotte. I think the Lakers pick, they're fishing for this Lakers pick really hard. And if they get the Lakers pick, that's good. I mean, it's still a pick, right? But I think our pick is better than having a Lakers pick in 2028 or whatever, 2027, whenever the Lakers pick is. Especially if they will have Luka Doncic on the roster. I think that team is going to be a guaranteed playoff team for however long he's on the team. So, yeah, I think that's what I would do. As far as Kuminga is concerned, I think for the right price, I wouldn't mind it, but the fit is concerning. And the reason the fit is concerning is because of the spacing. Kuminga, Bam, and Kalel are your 3, 4, and 5, and none of them are like consistent at shooting the 3 ball. I know people are going to be like, oh, Bam has improved, and he has improved, but I'm not like, he's not someone who you're banking on to make threes at a high level every game. You know what I'm saying? Like, you need guys who can be consistently out there, and you don't even want Bam Adebayo just shooting threes. Like, you want him like doing his thing, like playing his game, which is like mid-range and in, like, and shooting the occasional 3 if he needs to. But like, Kuminga doesn't shoot the ball. Kalel Ware, like, yeah, maybe he could improve, like, but again, you want him kind of like catching lobs and like, he's a center. You don't want a center to just exclusively be shooting threes, you know, like it's not ideal. So you have Tyler Hero, and ideally either you have Jonas or Davion, and your guards can shoot, but like your 3, 4, 5, the spacing is going to be atrocious. And like in today's NBA, if you want to like play well, you need to like space the floor. Now, people will be like, well, we're just doing this to get younger. Why do we care if the spacing is good or not? We're just going to try to figure it out. Like, and I respect that, but you also want to show some growth. Like, you also want your team to fit well. You don't want to play ugly basketball on purpose. You know what I'm saying? So for the right price, maybe I would do it if the Miami Heat really believe that he can turn his shot around and his IQ and all that, become a better like high IQ player. if he can do this, if Miami believes he can do this, then I wouldn't mind taking the shot and the swing on a high upside player like that, because he does have high upside. Say whatever you want about Kuminga, but his upside is through the roof, and it was always through the roof, even in 2020 when he was drafted. But unfortunately, he just hasn't put it together because of his, his mindset, his shot, like his IQ. Like, I don't know. Like, it's just been like a really tough phase for him at Golden State. And they also had a lot of guys playing above him. They didn't really give him the minutes. He wanted to play more minutes, and it was a point where he like requested a trade at one point, and then like Steve Kerr had to get involved. It was just like a big mess over there at some point. And he wants to be like a guy who can take a lot of shots. In Miami, he will have the opportunity to do that more than Golden State will. But do you want him to be a guy who's just like chucking up shots all game? Probably not. You want him to kind of shoot the good shots, especially because you have Yakachonis now, you have Hero, you have Bam, you have Khalil. Like, they like Jovic still. They like Jaquez. Like, it's just not going to be like free shots. It's not like we're the Brooklyn Nets or anything like that, where there's just nobody on our team. We have people still. So, I will say this: if the contract that he's getting offered is below $30 million, then I don't mind. But if it's above $30 million, I think that's way too much money. So that's where I'll leave it off on Jonathan Kuminga. I think he's a really high upside player. I don't even know if the Heat are like as hotly in pursuit as what they've made out to be. But listen, if they are, then like I said, anything below 30 M's, I'm cool with it. If not, I would suggest looking elsewhere. So that's my 2 cents on him. And yeah, it's just my, I guess, 2 cents on the whole entire team right now. Like the draft, the Davion Mitchell signing, the Kuminga rumors, the Andrew Wiggins trading stuff. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. I want to see your thoughts on everything that I just talked about. I'm excited to watch Summer League. The Heat, I think, are going to play Summer League as early as next week, so that'll be interesting. But yeah, I'll see you later as always, man. Peace.